Hello, FPB. Good morning, everyone. And hello to all the poets out there. Our guest for today is a poet from Ghana, Mr. Ababio Sylvester Oyusu. Hello, Ababio. How are you?
I'm doing well, Madaigu, and how about you too, please?
I'm good. It's what time in you there? What time is it there?
Hello, Madaigu, pardon.
I asked what time is it in you there in your place?
It's actually 10:40.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock in the morning here. 6
Oh, okay.
8 a.m. So we'll start. I'm going to read your bio.
Yes, please.
Biography of internationally acclaimed literary figure Ababio Sylvester Oyusu from Ghana. Ababio is a young Ghanaian international multiple award-winning poet, novelist, dramatist, songwriter, and motivational speaker recognized with uncountable literary accolades from over 15 global platforms for arts and literature. This brilliant young 19-year-old man has been awarded with uncountable literary accolades far global standards. Amongst his numerous global literary achievements at such a tender age includes Global Poet of the Year 2021, Global Brilliant Inker Awards, Global Excellence, Most Outstanding and Stimulating Literature, Outstanding Global Awards for Most Profound Quotes, Exceptional Competent Global Literary Writer, Global Poet of the Month, Global Poet of the Week, Global Poet of the Day, and many more verified and approved by the distinguished numerous global literary organization based at the United States of America, Britain, Italy, Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, Arabic countries, and other uncountable significant others. His latest poem, December to Remember, has been selected globally and published by the Global Poetic Legacy in an international digital anthology book. He is currently a 19-year-old second student at the best rated university in Ghana, according to the United States World Ranking Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. His successes is a result of the unflinching support and care of his awesome, lovely parents, Mr. Charles Kwadwo Oyusu Ababio, and beautiful, dearest mother, Mrs. Esther Akosua Meriku Ababio. Notwithstanding his caring siblings, Sylvia Oyusu Ababio and Claudia Oyusu Ababio. His mentor is multiple award-winning Ghanaian literary figure, Odowa Wedi Kwasi Soroma, an excellent teacher who taught him. As a result of his overwhelming global literary excellence and impact, Ababio Sylvester Oyusu was appointed as an international ambassador and the national administrative head in his mother country, Ghana, of the Global Literary Network Community, Genesis World Writers Community, a position of which he still occupies of present date. Concurrently, Ababio Sylvester Oyusu is also serving as an international ambassador of peace and human rights, approved by the World Literary Forum for Peace and Human Rights, affiliated to the Bolivarian School of Human Rights and the World United Nations. Ababio Sylvester Oyusu was recognized by the Universal Merchant Bank Ghana Tertiary Awards after being nominated under the category of Best Student Poet Spoken Word Artist in the year 2021. It is so acknowledging that After being nominated and voted upon globally, Ababio Sylvester Oyusu was selected as the best global poet of the year 2021 after being selected as the gold winner of the end of year global poetry contest, verified and approved by the global literary organization. The healing power of poetry on the Facebook. His literary was also recognized as the most outstanding and stimulating literature by the International Literature and the Art magazine. Some of his works are therefore published by the International Literature of the Art magazine. His literary expertise and in-depth knowledge is indeed worthy of praise and appellation, as he is a shining global literary star and such an invaluable asset. Countless number of times he has made Africa and the world at large proud. Most of his literary works is published in international anthologies. He ended his literary projects in the year 2021 with a very beautiful literary contribution to an international literary anthology book, All I Want for Christmas, published on Amazon in December 2021 by McKinley Publishing Hub, together with the literary works of many other international acclaimed literary figures such as Professor Dr. Gita Mohanty, Dr. Sonia Gupta, Annette Tarpley, Sonita Saho, Dennis Brown, and many others. His literary work, You're One in a Million, has been recently published on Amazon in an international poetic acrostic anthology book titled I Love You to the Moon and Back this year, February 2022. How are you, Ababio?
I'm doing great, Madai. How about you too, please?
So that was a very impressive bio. At that age, you are just 19-year-old, but you have achieved a lot. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Madai.
So let's start. I am going to ask you now. May I know how do your parents show their support to you? Because I am sure they are very, very proud of you. In what way they are supporting you?
My parents have really been supportive to me from the very first day. And when they realized my potentialities in the field of arts, they didn't pressurize me to go and study some other thing else. But then they encouraged me to do whatever I'm doing and do it best. And so if I have been able to reach at such apogee, then I would give all the credits, first of all, to God and then to my parents for they are very supportive backings towards me. Yeah, so they've been very.
You're not pressured by your parents. You're doing it naturally and you're happy of what you're doing. So that's why you have a very beautiful result.
Sure. And then I would also like to say, aside from my kids, there are other people who have also helped me a lot in this literary journey. One is my mentor, Odashi Diakosin Shuma.
Oh,
He's a guy.
wow. Is he your teacher in Ghana?
Yes, please. He's a teacher in personally.
Okay, because I have interviewed many poets already and will interview more, especially to those who will publish book with ME publications. And I was moved by their life stories and their sacrifices before they have reached their dreams. Have you experienced a journey similar to them?
Yeah, my journey is quite related to them. I've also had to have so many sacrifices. I'm actually still a student at the university. So most of the times, for instance, when there is a prompt, I would have to find time out of my busy schedules to join the prompt. And maybe when there is an international anthology project, I also have to find time and also engage in them and write down my verses. So yeah, I think I have a similar trace as them.
Yeah,
In the
because there's no sweet road to success.
Sure. There is no
There are always sacrifices that you'll be encountering, hardship, so that you can. It's good to reach your dream, having been encountered to such sacrifices, hardship, and all.
Yes, that's very true. You need to
So,
sacrifice.
do you plan of publishing your book, and
Yeah,
where will
that
you publish your book, if ever?
I would definitely publish my book. Actually, still in the process. I'm trying to. I've written so many poems, but then I want to publish books in different. I actually write poems about a whole lot of topics, from domestic violence to
That's nice.
romantic. I do not really like writing romantic poems, but then I also write them, and then to peace, because I'm an international ambassador of peace and human rights. So I
Yeah,
normally
yeah.
write things about peace and then human rights, defending the rights of other people. And so I have all of them down. I want to publish them in different sessions. I also have Pan-African poems. I would like to publish them in different sessions. So I'm gathering everything together, putting things together, and
Yes,
those
yes.
plans to publish them. Soon I would publish my books.
Yeah. So we are very excitingly waiting for that, book publishing, because,
Sure.
yeah, it
In the
is,
meantime,
yeah,
in the meantime, I have most of my works published in international anthology books. All I Want for Christmas, I Love You to the Moon and Back, and many others.
yeah.
And there are
Those
still many.
are all published with, I think, Makeli, right?
Sure, please.
Yeah. So, I want to ask, at your very young age, with a very bright mind, what do you think young poets can contribute your talents to your nation and the world?
I also believe that young poets can contribute their quota to the development of the country. All that they need is just to believe in themselves, not to be intimidated by anything, and then just have that hope. And also, what is very most important is determination, hard work, perseverance. Those are the very core values that they must inculcate. And then I'm so very certain that if they do this, they harness these values, they will be able to reach their goals and contribute to their countries.
That's
Very,
true. You are
they'll
very
be able.
original. You only have to trust yourself and not copy others' way of writing. And everything will just flow. You will just notice, oh, why I have an idea like this, because you are guided. So
That's,
that's the thing is.
yeah.
Okay, so does entering into politics come to your mind so that you can help change your place or your country?
Um, with the issue of entering politics, I've not actually thought over it, but then let's see, anything can happen in the future. So any opportunity that just knocks on the door. But currently, I'm not having politics in mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not having. But I also personally believe that even if I do not enter into politics, there are still many ways I can contribute to my country and even to the world at large. And so,
Because sometimes we need leaders that has a very brilliant minds.
sure,
Yeah.
that's very.
So, but anyway, even if you are not entering into politics, you can still help your place. You can still help your nation.
I'll do
So
my
that's
very.
it. So I consider you as a literature laureate. Being called as such, does it take pressure on you that you need to compose a poem or an excellent one because you are Ababio Sylvester Oyusu?
No, it doesn't actually create pressure on me. There you go. Actually, what I believe in is just write from your heart. Just write from your experiences. Just write. That's what I believe in. And so I do not actually force myself in writing poems. It's actually something that so, so I do not really force myself into writing poems. It just flows naturally.
I
Yes,
love your
please.
excellent answers. Okay, let's proceed to the next question. Um, what can you say about the War of Nations, especially of what is happening now in Ukraine and Russia? How can be poets in these two countries contribute their talents pacifying this war?
It is so it's something that really hurts me. It's so very sad and melancholic to think that
Yes.
such things are happening in our world, especially in this today's century. But then I also believe that poets in their own way can contribute. We can probably write an international anthology book and then disseminate.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
true. That's very effective. Yeah, I was thinking while talking with you, I was thinking of you know, if we are going to write as poets, if we're going to write and about uh this kind of theme, about this kind of topic that about war, how to pacify, it wouldn't be possibly, because our poetry, our anthology books dissipate only within us. I was thinking of how about writing a book from poet from different parts of the world. Example, one from Ghana, one from Philippines, one from the USA, and all the countries out there. And then we will compile that into anthology book. And then it's a kind of, we can present that book or gift that book to our national leaders so that they
that
will have, can you imagine what
should,
I'm thinking? Because
yes,
it should be
please.
reached to them. It should not be just be dissipated only to us and then appreciate each other's work. It won't be useful. It's futile because we only appreciate it, but it's not working for our leaders, for the leaders of our country. We need to give a book which is very useful that could enlighten the people or the leaders in that country. So we will be thinking of that, and you will be the one from Ghana.
It would be an honor. Thank you. Yeah, that's a very brilliant idea, Mother Igu. And I really appreciate your kind heart. May God richly bless you for contributing to world literature,
I
everything.
am
God
just very
bless
inspired with you, with your young mind. You are so brilliant. So I it only flashed to my mind also that what if, because it's a reality that there's war now between two countries, and what are the poets doing? Where is the peace? Where is the calling of peace that we are writing for many years? Then it's still no it's still we're still having war. So we need to give or present that anthology book to the leaders of all countries so that they will be enlightened, and let them read it. I
you.
think that's
And
a very good
that
idea.
That's a very great idea, Madaigo. And I was also thinking of, aside from us disseminating the books to the leaders, we can also, those of us who have the skill in spoken word, because I think the message must also be spread across, not only to the leaders, but then to the
That's true.
citizens.
Across the
Because,
world, not
yes,
only to the poets, because poets
so
have read a lot of poems already calling for peace, but it has to be read to all folks, a kind of people.
yes, please. So we can actually make, these days, since people are normally on social media watching videos most of the times than more often reading, we can make a spoken word video. Then we could place it on all our social media handles so that people will be watching. And I think that would enlighten people to know much
Yeah,
more
you
about
can have calling your friends from different countries who are not my friends because you are an ambassador of peace. So you can do that. And you can
it.
choose the best writer that they have to compose a poet that could really touch with substance that could really touch other people.
Yes, Madam. I was actually thinking of this Russia and Ukraine war today, and it really saddens my heart. And so I
Yes.
actually some poems about all these. Now I will have to read some of them. I'll have to read some of them.
So we'll do that. We'll do that.
Sure. Yeah, and I
The
also think that
soonest.
I also think that we just human beings must learn to appreciate each other. One thing I realized is that most people do not appreciate each other because we seem to be in a struggle with each other. But then I don't think that's how it should be. We must always have that feeling of love for one another. Because if you don't have that feeling of love for one another, then that means love, we won't get anywhere. Love countermands all adversity. So we must have that feeling. After all, one day we all die, and then the wealthy and the lowly person, we all die, and we all end up in the grave. So what's all this strife? We just need to show love and spread love across the
That's
world.
true. That's true. That's the greatest emotion. If we show love, we also encourage, we also support, and we are boosting the morale of everyone that we love. And that love is a kind of contagious. If they feel love, they will be loving others too. So that's the good thing, the best thing we can do. And of course, since we are gifted with this kind of talent, we have to give back this talent through doing of what we can do to unite to for the calling of peace and love. And that idea that I have give that we are talking about is very effective idea. I think it could be there will be an anthology one, another volume two, that so that all poets can be also distributing this kind of anthology. Not only me and you, the next set is another poets, right? So that everyone can contribute, not only us. It could be like
Sure.
for I'm thinking that it will be like a contest in the Filipino Poets and Blossoms, and those who will win the first prize will be contributing to that anthology.
It would be very brilliant and great.
Yeah, because if you are a winner, that means you are good in that, and you touch hearts with that piece. So that's a very great, idea. And I will do that the soonest, because if we will not do that now, when will be the right time? Maybe that one I'm going to I'm going to share with you also.
Yes, Mother.
Yeah,
My,
that's very,
yeah.
yeah. So, can you read one of your poems? Can you
It's,
share that with us?
I would definitely do that. And before I do that, I almost forgot. There's one particular mother of mine who has been very supportive in my poetry journey. If I don't mention her name, then it's a very big mistake. She's called my mother, MEB ME. So I'm saying hi to her.
Say
Okay,
hi
so
for her too.
and then this one I wrote it during the global pandemic period. It's entitled "One Love, One Faith."
That's
We
nice.
have all we have all arrived at a brink. Mortals only depend on hope these days to put together the disparate alphabet. Nevertheless, enjoying a complete, meaningful word. They yearn to construct the sentence of uttermost liberation. Every race of human nature stumbles in the mud. We rise up only to find our apparel dirty. With complicated efforts, we endeavor to wash our linen white as daisy snow. But as to whether we will succeed in washing dirty linen, only time will tell. We are cribbed in cobwebs of terror. Our myopic sight compels us to walk barefooted on the magma of violent tribulation obliviously. Locked inside an enormous four-columned baggage of Pandora, our solace is only in the one who has our fate in his hands. Man is just a grain of sand that will solemnly make intimate acquaintance with the soil layers when the last bell is tolled to mark the birth of a discreet peregrination. Where are those egoistic wealthy men who claim themselves to be somebody? Where are the wealthy class who trample on the rights of the destitute? Can't they even wash their dirty linen? They rather make innate solemn wills, covering their nostrils with marks. Yes, they do the same like the destitute by the roadside. This imperfect world is never a respecter of men. When the alphabet finally conglomerates to hearken to our ears that perfect word of liberation, lest we forget that we are bound with a common destiny, then we will treat one another with the flowing milk of affection and love. Knowing this dark world is never a respecter of any Homo sapien. One love, one faith. Mother Ego, that's the point.
That's wonderful. And it could be that kind of poem could be contributed and that's such anthology. But I'm sure you will contribute the fresh one.
Yeah, I have so
You have
many
to
of
write
them.
a new one, but it's very, very good.
Yeah, I have so many of them that specifically talks about. So if you give me the opportunity, can I read the second one? This one I
Yeah.
wrote it about. This one, it was actually the one love, one faith that I read. It was actually a poem that I wrote during the COVID-19 pandemic. To just enlighten people to know that we must have love for humanity. It's a poem that's actually touched my heart. But
Yes.
then I have a specific poem for these war crisis, and it is entitled "The Melody of Solidarity."
Okay.
The cry,
Please read.
the Sure. The cry of the blood resonates incessantly plaintive. Hope has vanished, never to be retrieved. Our lives now have become tattered, that we feel solemnly retarded. The air of our home has given way to disarray, for we have no hope in the day. Nothing has been left, even the skylark dripped. Such is the war crisis. The dagger is veered towards undutiful causes of laceration, conflicts causing uttermost distress. The mayhem we have caused to our souls is immeasurable. Blood flows at torrent speed like a passage of water at the sea. Ties are broken like a shattered heart. We are now wounded souls walking on the ale of lands. Men are broken into pieces that cannot be mended easily. Alas, I hear the reckoning voice of the motherland, conglomerating us to form a perfect circle, that we may drop the knives and guns and persecute one another with. Though unity in diversity persists, love, the ultimate, countermands all diversities. If we can be at peace with each other, if we can appreciate as a unified body one another, then community will proliferate and we will attain stability. Tranquility will sit on the throne in sovereignty. The emphatic turmoil of war beats will be of the past. Hope travels to pave way as new opportunities accelerate fast. The air of freedom jumps hysterically as the rhythm of old is thrown to dust. That's the title of the poem, The Melody of Solidarity.
The Melody of Solidarity. You have submitted that in a contest or not?
I haven't yet. I haven't submitted.
Okay.
There are some,
because if there's a contest like that and you submitted that, for sure it will win
I think
top award.
Yes, please. I think that one is the one I actually submitted for a contest is All We Got Is One World.
Can you read that, please?
Yeah. All we got, the title is All We Got Is One World. Only God is one world.
Only God is my world. Okay.
One world. All we got is one life. Why then do we tear ourselves apart like clutched rays of light? All we have is one world. Why then do we pierce one another with sharp knives? All we have is one joy of brotherhood. Why then do we attack each other every now and then? The cake of unity is caring and loving. It does not love and hate. It does not smile and frown. It does not embrace and neglect. Let us unite the ties that hold us back. Let us grip our hands tightly, lest one of us stumbles till we are all shaken. Let us strengthen our bonds, that it can never be shaken. Let us drink from the cup of forgiveness until bitterness flees away like a skylark, flapping its wings higher to the apex of the atmosphere. For all we got is one world. Life is too short to disturb like a bee buzzing with noise all over the territory. Peace must sit on his throne and reign in his lordship. All we got is one world. That's the poem, Mother Eagle. All we got is one world.
It's it's a very beautiful poem. It's just like worshiping him, giving him glory. So yeah, you're honoring him in your poetry. I remember there was a contest across the contest in the pop poetry that I posted, and you won gold.
Yeah,
I remember.
Sure. Madago,
I forget because I already have 15 contests in the passion of poetry, the acrostic Thursday, but I forget which of those. But you won gold.
Yeah, for Madago, please, I want to address something. The poem I just wrote is All We Got Is One World. One world, like one world.
Okay.
That was the title. And with what you are saying now, yeah, with the acrostic contest, I normally love engaging in it. I almost engage in almost every prompt because the
Is it your
things
first interview? Is it your first interview or you have it's first?
yes,
Oh, my great pleasure.
thank you. Thank you so much. I'm
Okay,
so
continue.
yeah, with the acrostic contest, I normally love engaging it because the themes are so profound and they are so they're just so exceptional. So I just can't stay without passing by a prompt, especially and almost every day I submit. I have my website and thank you so much for that. Either I get an honorary award, an excellence, or silver or gold. Yeah. I normally love engaging in it, but it seems uh, sometimes what actually confuses people is my Facebook name. It's actually different from the name I present for the prompt. My Facebook name is Ababio Sylvester. Then the one I present for the prompt is Ababio Sylvester Oyusu. I'm actually having complications with the Facebook until about some months elapses. I wouldn't be able to change my name, but then when I'm able to change
You
my
already
name,
have a lot of accolades of your poetry in the
yes,
contest.
yes, and not only in the passion of poetry, Pen Wonders
Not
International,
only in the passion of poetry.
yeah, Pen Wonders International, Rhythm of the Heart, World Spiritual Love and Humanity Forum, dear Lord, Express Your Love for Literature, what's this? There are lots, in fact. World Literary Forum for Peace and Human Rights. Um, um, a whole lot. The international poetry, international
Yes.
literature,
You are
like the
very
food.
much exposed already.
Yeah, they all awarded me with many
You're
accolades.
making your name in the poetic arena.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. It's, yeah.
So may
So,
I
so
ask you, do you have poets, I mean, that you have a high regard with?
yes, please.
Yeah, can you
I,
name them? That should be international. Maybe I know them also.
oh, yes, please. Uh, uh, Professor Dr. Jita Mohanty,
Yeah, I
obvious,
love her. She's very
obviously,
nice.
you, and obviously yourself, my dear mother Eagle, Helen Sarita, then
Thank you.
Eureka Ruby, Annette Tarpley,
Yes.
yeah, Mike Kobick, a whole lot of them. Yeah, a whole lot of them. I really have high
Now,
regard.
yeah,
Yeah,
these
all of them.
poets are, they are not just a good writer, but they have a pure heart.
That's very true. From your every conversation with them, you realize that they are really kind-hearted, just like yourself.
So it's nice. Actually, we are both surprised that we can click so much here. We have a lot of things that we discussed that we agreed. Poets have the same purpose in life. We only need to express ourselves. We need to travel our souls.
That's
So that's
true.
the deep meaning of poetry. So there's happiness that money can't buy if we are able to compose one poem, which
That's
is
very
which
true.
can which we know that can touch people. Now I am going also, as promised, I told you that I'm going to read a poem also.
Yes,
So
Mother.
I'll be reading it here. Actually, I have read it many times, but we have different
Mother
viewers.
Eagle, Mother Eagle, please, can you give me a second? I
Okay.
want
Okay. The title is When the Right Time Will Be. When the right time will be, my pen cries to utter what my heart silently murmurs. Would it cover what my thoughts wish to speak for? Would there be an ending to this abyss of distress that somehow would change to unity and happiness? Would be the writer's inks have enough power to transform the dusk into love and light, vastness? Nothing impossible. That's the believers are standing for. Would the little ink left in our pens show its own essence? Would be the calling of our passion be also part of uniting nations? Can we speak out not to bash but access to peace? Why can't we pray for every race, culture, and belief? That we aren't here to fight and towards each other principle, we do have respect. That whenever we talk softly and not harshly, we can mellow down hatreds. Why are we so inclined to side with whom we stand for? It's time to look for the lives of our brethren and not to feed our hunger for power as we dwell on earth just temporarily. That whether we like it or not, we will leave this place bringing nothing and handling empty. Why we can't understand that we might be right and we also might be wrong, which are these are no sides. There are no sides from our sides which are completely bright and gloom. There'll always be a way to find our equilibrium. Why we can't go out and be an instrument for unity and oneness. For us to fight this apocalypse we are facing at the moment and will continue to be meeting if we want ask for wisdom and deep faith. My heart is a yearning in ardent. How about yours? I firmly believe we can have our share, whatever our status in life. We may be rich or poor, as those people who are blind now can be a temple of love in the future. If we won't start it now, then when will be the right time? Love and sacrifice for once. The world is needing us. Show your talents not only in a contest, but in a context of unselfishness. Let us be a source of love in the form of art our one God has bestowed on us. That's it. Thank you.
Oh, that's so beautiful, Mother Eagle. I really enjoyed that poem. And one line I really appreciate is we must show our love, not only in contest. We
Yes.
must show
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
and it
yeah,
must be
not
unselfish.
just in a contest, but in a context of unselfishness, that we can
That
impart our talents to the world. And it's about, our ink, that we have to use this for the calling of peace and unity, for oneness. And it's about time. It's not about time that it will not be disseminated only for us poets. But since we have encountered, we have, faced war of different nations, maybe it's time to present these words to the leaders of all nations.
yes, that's very, very brilliant, Mother Eagle. I really
Thank you.
appreciate that. It's
So,
every line it
yes,
speaks is so much
every
wisdom.
line has to be
Every line,
powerful.
yeah, sure, sure, Mother Eagle.
So, do you have any advice for young poets, or do you have a message for the whole world in general?
Yes, I do have a message for young, the whole world in general, and also young poets. If you're a poet, one advice I would actually give is that the poetry shouldn't actually be a burden. You shouldn't force yourself just to write how someone is also writing. Just flow in your own lane, and everything will just be perfect. So don't just give yourself unnecessary pressure. Just write as you feel, and everything will just work accordingly. And also, literature is not just a mere composition of words. One quote of mine is, literature is not just a mere composition of words, but then it is the time proven best coach, best teacher, best soothsayer the world has ever witnessed. So we shouldn't take the art of literature for granted at all. It's a divine ministry. People read our poems, and then you probably don't know the situation they may be going through, but then they are empowered when they read our poems. They just are optimistic when they read our poems, even at a point when they are down. So my advice to all poets across the globe is that we should continue to excel in that demonstration, or we should continue to excel in that demonstration. If you're a young poet, it's not just too easy like that to attain so many successes. It comes with a whole lot of pressure, but then you shouldn't allow anything to make you give up. For me, like from myself, for instance, for such people like my mother Eagle, Helen Sarita, Annette Tapley, my parents, Esther, my father Charles Ababio, my mother Esther Mreku Ababio, my mother Mavis Sechan, many people, they were the ones who actually encouraged me. At a point in time, I used to write poetry, all right. And then my teacher, Odashidia Christine Schumer, I used to write poetry most often, but I didn't really take it too serious until I started. They advised me that I should just, one advice they gave to me that I took it is that whatever that I'm doing, I should make sure I do it, and I do it best. That is what I didn't really have that feeling of writing. I had that feeling, but sometimes I could write and I could just throw the papers away or something like that. But then when they encouraged me, and I started also joining different poetry groups, it has even made me laugh them more and more. And I would like to commend all the poetry groups. They are doing outstanding work. They have really, maybe they don't know, but they have really inspired many people, for instance, myself. So, Ma'am Helen Sarita, thank you so much for Filipino Poets in Blossom. It's a blessing to many of us. God richly bless you.
God bless you. And it's a blessing also to have you in the Mother Eagle Blossom Show in our Sunday morning here. Happy Sunday, and it's your Saturday night there. So, even we have a time difference, but it is not a hindrance that we can make this possible. So
Thank
it's
you
been
so
a long time that we're planning this, but because of the internet connection, poor connection, and I got sick, and it was postponed and postponed. But there's still a perfect time that God will give us, and it's a very good time. And I'm so happy to know you more deeply, and I enjoyed our conversation. And I hope that that the plan that we have discussed here, the anthology for every poet from different countries, will be materialized soon. And I hope you can give me some people from different countries that so that we can make it.
I would be so glad to do that, Mother Eagle. But before we go, I would like to read one poem, if permitted.
Sure. We have still time.
Sure. So please give me 1 minute.
Yeah, okay.
All right, thank you. So I had actually planned to read this one. It is titled Will Your Anchor Hold? Walking in an island of uncertainties, battling the sweet, bitter monition of challenging entanglement. I am but an eagle that does not fly. I am but a singer that has the most terrible voice. For my soul has been abducted in the agony of perdition. But when I open my eyes after a deep slumber, I perceive once energetic trees, now stumbling on its feet, beautiful colored flowers shedding off its leaves, like it has been hit by a bad weather. Now my hands are shivering like I'm infected with epilepsy. Faith is diminishing to sub-zero in the midst of these chains of persecution. Yet I will faithfully hold on to faith. My eyes are teary like I was just soaked in the innermost sea, watching solemnly my savior scattering the wheels that masticated my tiny bones. Yes, faith had won over persecution. Faith is powerful like a sharp-edged sword on a battlefield. Whatever your faith may be, believe in all that can be, for nothing comes into being without faith. Life is a spiritual journey. So this is the poem
That's
that
wonderful. So
this is the,
you don't only write great, excellent, you also read heartfelt in a heartfelt way. And I love
yeah,
our listening to you.
yeah, and
So
I
thank you
so
so much for the time, Ababio. Yes?
thank you so much, Mother Eagle. I'm so much very happy. Being a human rights activist, I
Yeah.
think I couldn't read one last poem. Can I read one
Yes,
last
yes,
poem?
yes.
Yeah. This poem I entitled it "Pangs of Solitude." I actually dedicated it.
I'm sorry, what's the title again?
Please, "Pangs of Solitude." Mother,
Solitude.
"Pangs of Solitude." Yes,
Paths of
please.
solitude. Okay.
Yeah. I actually dedicated these poems to street children, and they were not born of the wayside yet. They were not born of the wayside, yet they have been neglected. At times, when their hope has attained the peak of diminuendo, they feel esoterically dejected. The home that made them can never do without vices. Nefariously, they metamorphose criminal practitioners as they can't handle their crisis. For that is their only loophole to attain wealth. Nonetheless, their hearts was always weeping when they discovered their death. At times, they took that rex of resting. Hunger knocks irritably as the lithosphere wrecks to send them off stealing. Men of no scruple exploit the ignoble indecently, establishing incessant horrid ambience in the guild of wilderness indefinitely. They earnestly anticipate the cry of favor. To save their wretched souls from the blast of fire they are subjugated to devour. Yet we have turned deaf ears to their predicament. Our lukewarm attitude invigorates unwholesome treachery renaissance. Let us arrive at a befitting end, therefore, unless our predicaments will double up than before. Our future will glitter like stars if we embark on this humanitarian peregrination. Happiness will whisper to our ears the joy of infinite carats at the era of its induction. So I actually dedicated this poem to all street children, and we want them to know we love them. So it's titled "Punks of Solitude."
That's wonderful.
But,
That's
okay,
wonderful. That is, a kind of poetry that I love to read. And you are so spirited now because I understand what you feel. You want to share your heart to the people. That's why you are reading your masterpieces. So you
Thank you
should
so
have to compile that in order to make a book. And since you are a Filipino Poets and Blossoms member, there will be people, there will be members that will patronize your book and they will be purchasing your book. So try to finish that soon. But since we have
sure.
time, I want to consume all our time. We still have time. As I promised, I told you it's different. That the poetry that I have read just a while ago is about peace, and I told you to read. I promise you that I'm going to read my story as a mother eagle. So I'll try. I'll
Yeah.
try. I'll find it here. I'll
Yes,
try.
Mother Ego. I'd love to hear it.
Okay, thank you.
Love to-
Nothing.
In the meantime, Mother Ego, I would love to appreciate you so much for inviting me over. I'm so very much elated today. You've really made my day. God richly bless you, and I pray for strength and all the happiness you deserve.
It's
Amen.
my pleasure to have you, and I am happy that I made you happy. The happiness of a poet is to express themselves. The head and I'm looking here now. Oh my God, I can't find it.
Oh,
We still have time.
yeah, you have more each time.
Okay. Actually, I read this poem many times, but since some haven't watched it yet, because we have different viewers. Of course, you will be sharing this to your friends.
Yeah.
It's here. Okay, shall I start?
Yes, you can start. I'm really eager to hear.
Okay, I'll start. Okay, the title is Nothing Impossible in the Heaven Beneath.
All right.
My children are my golden treasure, bringing back my thoughts to my yesteryears. My story began when I was a teenage mother. Through breastfeeding, I nurtured my first son, till no milk from me I could squeeze upon. I wished to feed him nutrients he essentially needs to abound. I lacked to provide him. My world seemingly didn't go round. It bled my heart as my purse was thin and empty. When those were only covered by sacks, that was how petty were we. And nothing could be found in every corner of our dinky shelter. Even tiny ashes of regrets couldn't be found in there. How bare it was representing me. From there, I just learned to dream, though not for me, but for them. I believe it's not late to create a nest for my coming children. Behind that huge mountain, I whispered my wishes for them. At night, as I gazed up the skies, I asked the stars to guide me in heading my way. I wish to be one of them, glittering and sparkling glee. Yes, it was never too late to build my elusive dreams. I heard the whisper of the bees carried by an optimistic breeze. There will be beautiful days coming ahead. And I was motivated by those dreams. I started to carry sack on my shoulder. I climbed mountains. I shouted used clothing for sale. I made donuts though I wasn't good enough. House to house, I was selling any stuff, just enough to have fare and offering for a Sunday mass. And I started to pray intensely. I dazzled myself to the city. I know I could be more than me. My potential was heavy. If they can do, why can't I? I grabbed opportunities knocking my door. I started to level up and learned for more. I patiently carried my life. I embraced obstacles and strive. My love for my children was simply my inspiration. They energized me behind my tiredness. I could afford to grin and bear behind difficulties. They were the reason why I have to go out, rain or shine, as I could not stop dreaming even for a short while. Yet life never stopped teasing me. Tears were entwined in my way. Below the belt, I was being hit. My softness was abused by the wicked. For more, I learned life, and I even learned to write. I work hard without limit. In my work, I poured my spirit. I gambled myself bravely to the challenge of this world. My journey has never been smooth. I tackled every inch of my world. Yet I never whined. I continued to walk with faith, come what may. Though I fell and stumbled, it's an arduous part of my path to cross. It had to be that way, yet life was still good. And like a mother eagle, I ventured across the sea. I soared to the highest sky, rising to the great heights. The storm had befallen, but I never been ravaged by my undying courage. Another day, another sunshine. To humanity, I have to bind. My guide is my daughter, watching me from heaven. In my womb also she suffered the indescribable pain I have been. Now she's the most amorous angel with her candid cheers. He shielded me with her wings. I am fearless, unafraid to venture my strength to this universe. Nothing impossible in the heaven beneath. Now I severed my own self. In every trial I never told, until I could give them the mountain when I started to create my dreams. They are my treasure. My golden treasure is my 5 loving children, 6 including the one in heaven. They are preparing my exquisite crown as I am their endearing queen. Thank you.
That is so touching, Mother Ego. That is such a touching poem.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed
thank you
it.
so much, and
Indeed,
I'm so thankful.
I must confess, you are really an exceptional poetess. Very great. I really love every pieces that you bring out.
That's
They are
the
so
story of my being a mother eagle, because I soar high during the storm,
inspiring.
and I cannot
I
imagine how I survive until such time that God give me this kind of mission that I need to accomplish, because these are not my plan. These are not my plan to interview you. These are not my plan to publish, to become a publisher. This is all God's plan.
that, those are all God's plan. And
So thank you so much that I have also read my 2 poems in this
I
interview.
really enjoyed it. Mother Dupuis, is that poem published? That
Yeah, it
because I
was already
give them
published.
flexibility.
It's in Lulu because it's actually it won gold in a contest. It was an
Yes,
international contest about parents love, and I won gold. The Philippines won gold, and maybe it was America or India who won the second place. So it's very important to me because I was able to, you know, the founder of the love poetry cried in that
Oh,
poem of mine. So it's
oh,
very touching.
oh, that's it's so touching. Very,
Yeah.
very touching. So, Mother Ido, I want to once again appreciate you for everything that you've done for me, for the everything. I really appreciate your encouragement in the group, awarding our works with gold and silver awards, international awards. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. You
I would,
deserve that. You deserve that. You're working for that. I know it's from your heart. And you touch me. When I read all those, you really deserve that.
thank you so much, Mother Ido. Please,
So thank you
I would
so much.
I would also love if you join Genesis World Writers Community. Genesis World Writers Community.
Yeah,
It's
that's the
also
third. I think
a
I am a
poet.
member of that. Only that, I
You
think
are very
yeah, it fits. I can see it on my wall.
oh sure, sure.
Yeah,
It's just a very there are other poets from all over the world, and it's also a nice poetry from yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, that was a group that I also really admire. Yeah, it's a group I really admire, and it also has many other international poets around who are also very excellent. Actually, I'm an elder there representing Ghana there at
Yeah.
Genesis World Writers Community, and there are so many poets in Ghana, even beyond who have even inspired my writings. So
That's
I'm encouraging
nice.
all viewers to join. Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank
Mother
you.
Ido.
Thank you.
I
Thank you so much for your time. And please be safe. God bless us all. Bye bye.
bye.